Evening peeps, it's Wendy here from Sydney, Australia. Frank's 6 video. Frank's gone to bed. We had a very big day today. She was up at 3, warming up at 4 at the theatre, rehearsing with our associate choreographer again at 6 a.m. He's a champion. Absolute great sport. Going in there, just giving it all for the job, you know. He's an amazing man, an incredibly talented young man. We all love him, as I've said before, but he was in there rehearsing with Frank because she just needed to go through the changes and go through her show plot so that she could be the best she could be today. Now, Frank and I were talking today. We're missing Sydney, Australia terribly. So I've got the Roosters cap on. We're both Roosters supporters and Roosters fans, which is a rugby league, or as they say over in the UK, rugby football league. And the Roosters, we've been diehard fans for many years, and Roosters are actually on top of the NRL table. Second is the Rabbitohs on the same points, 40 points, and they're going into the finals this week. So we're starting the finals, and we're hoping that the Roosters will get to the grand final and win the grand final. They deserve a win. They had a couple of down years, but they're back on top again in fine form. And recently, Frank and I, before we started this new show, went back to Australia and caught a game in Newcastle where they just flattened the Newcastle team. They were just outstanding, as per usual. So we're missing the Roosters. We're missing Sydney because it's sunny there. Manchester's lovely. It's a very colourful place, as I've said before, which can mean a lot of different things. But you know what? It's grey. It's grey and it's raining and it's drizzly. I wish that the sun would come out. We're missing the sun. So we're thinking of Sydney, Australia at this time with my Roosters cap on. Bondi girl, wishing we were back in Sydney, missing it. There is an Australian production of the show that I'm doing, heading over to New Zealand recently. They didn't contact Frank for a contract, which is bizarre. But she knows that she turned down the contract for Broadway to come on the UK tour. But Australia just weren't aware that Frank was even available for the Australian tour. But she wanted to be on this tour, so it's their loss. It's very sad that she's not with the Australian tour. I would have stayed here, and she could have gone and done that one. But a shame for the Australian production that they don't have Frank on board. But they'll no doubt hear about Frank, I'm sure, and they'll be thinking next time they get that production up and running, where's Frank? Quick, we've got to get Frank. As Broadway, quick, we've got to get a Frank over here. So last night was the first preview. Oh, it was outstanding. The audiences loved it. The fans, everyone that turned up. And we are die-hard cult fans of the show, and they absolutely adored the show, screaming throughout and jumping up out of their seats. You know, our two leading ladies who are absolute superstars, not only great-looking girls, lovely, lovely people, both of them, but they can sing the socks off of anything. They're just absolute consummate performers, trained by the best. Our creative team is absolutely superb. And today we had a big music call with Team USA music supervisor, another very handsome man. What do they feed them out in New York? I mean, oh gosh, they're all so handsome. I don't know what it is, but you know what? He's just and lovely and talented and passionate about his job. He did a magnificent job. And when he conducts, it's so clear and precise, and oh, he's just a dream to work with, as is our music supervisor here in the UK. Oh, gosh, he does a wonderful job, and he conducts right into the camera so that both Frank and I can get the cut-offs and we can read the music really clearly. He mouths the words. We know exactly where we are, what we're doing. He's an absolute star, and we just love him. James, you're an absolute legend. And so it was a magnificent day today. We had a fantastic vocal call, worked the show again before the preview tonight. Oh, the audiences were loving it. And you know what? We're giving it large. We know people are paying big bucks for this show. And we are doing an outstanding job and just playing to all those people up the back in the corner because they've paid for their tickets as well too. So nobody misses out. Nobody misses out on Frank's performance. She's just giving it to everyone in the audience, and they love it. And they get riled up and give her a big applause, and they yell and scream for Frank. Where is Frank? Where is Frank? And then she comes on and the crowd goes wild. But Frank's not all about that. She's just about doing a really good job. So tomorrow is our first two-show day, and we'll be in early, getting ourselves ready, warmed up vocally and physically. Both Frank and myself have got physio appointments because we want to stay in top peak physical condition to make sure that we're completely ironed out and everything's just on target for our 2 shows tomorrow. So very exciting 2-show day. And then we're working towards the press night on Tuesday, where it's all happening, and we've got beautiful gowns. We're going to have a marvellous party afterwards. Very short because we've got a matinee the next day. But it's all happening here in Manchester, very exciting, and everyone in the show is working incredibly hard. They were very tired today, but gee, they did a wonderful job, and it's very exciting times here in Manchester for our show. Looking forward to the rest of the tour. So, hashtag Go Frank Go. What else can I say? Hashtag Frank on Fire. Oh gosh, and all those people that are watching these YouTube clips. There's all these hits. I don't know who these people are. They're probably thinking, who is Frank? Well, you've got to come along to the show and see who Frank is. She's an absolute legend. So thanks for watching this YouTube clip. Thanks for following, the Frank videos. This is Frank 6 signing off, ready for Frank 7 to come shortly. Have a good night, everyone. Go Frank, go. Go Roosters.